Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be answering a question that I had between a friend of mine. We were playing a game of Battletech, and for those of you familiar with Battletech, you basically have two categories of missiles. One being short-range missiles, which basically of all sorts of missiles going everywhere, like 30 at a time. It's chaos. And then, of course, you have the long-range missiles, which are like the big ones, the ones we think of. So we got in a discussion back and forth saying, what would happen if you tried to apply that same philosophy in modern warfare? And he was arguing, of course, that small, lots of missiles, you remember the whole quantity is a quality of its own, would be more effective than one big missile. So I said, I know just the game to test this argument. So what we have here, of course, is we have an AH-64D, it's an Apache longbow, and now what we've done is we've slammed on a bunch of Hellfires. There's actually 20 Hellfires. Now, the number 20 is relevant because if I open it up real quick, you'll probably observe the fact that our weapon here, if we go to the warhead on it, does about 8 damage points. Now, I also have my barge. I think I'm going to put a unit request in for just my version of this barge because I love it. There's a bunch of harpoons, and for those of you who know the harpoon, going down to my weapon here, you'll notice it's 166.6 damage points. Now, for those of you who have calculators, you can see why I picked 20 of the Hellfires. To test our theory, of course, we have 3 different vessels. We have the CV-41 Midway, which I feel very bad shooting missiles at. We have the Iowa, because reasons. And of course, down here at the bottom, we have a commercial container vessel, one of the big old Panamaxes. My personal hypothesis is that the smaller missile, since it's going to be wasting so much of its effort trying to just do the initial hit, it's not really going to be as effective as a single big missile. So let's find out what happens, shall we? All right, let's grab my Apache first. So I'll unpause things. I'll shift F1, go ahead and click on this guy, and I will fire all of weapons of this type at that lovely vessel. It's going to take this poor Apache a couple moments to kind of lock on, and it begins. Now, the amusing thing to do here is if you actually bring up the 3D view, see if we can get a kind of close up of the action here. And you can see it's, it's actually pretty accurate for an SRM for Battletech right there. Of course, normally they'd be going like all over the sky like this to make them hard to intercept, but I think it's close enough analog. Close enough analog. So anyway, we're striking the ship now, doing all sorts of explosive damage there, as you can hear. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah. Oh yes, I did put ships on the deck, by the way, or aircraft on the deck, just to be like, a little more realistic kind of a thing. Just to, if I catch one of those on fire, maybe something will happen. But I'm getting the general gist that this is going to be a highly ineffective attack here. All right, take that, Midway. Let's see what happened here. Let's switch to the other team real quick. Let's go ahead and click. Whoa, seems we got some hits here. So the overall damage was 3. Now, I don't know about you, but 3's not much. So if I actually go over damage control real quickly here, you can take out one of the machine guns on the side of the deck there, damage the machine gun, hit the Mark 35, take that. We did some stuff to the radio. Those things always get broken, though. Same thing with radars. I damaged some open parking, I guess. One of the elevators got hit, and that's pretty good, seeing as the elevator's on the other side of the ship. So that was a lucky shot. So I think we can safely say, just by taking a look at this, not bad. There's no fires, nothing like that. So, okay, I'm going to rate that as an okay. Keep in mind, you'd never get that close to a carrier. So let's go ahead and grab my barge here. I'm going to give it a second to reacquire all those targets. Shift F1, go ahead and click on that one. Fire a harpoon. Fire the harpoon. I have to actually get the Apache out of the way. Otherwise, he might get a little overzealous. Okay, here we go. So we're going to speed up time just a touch here. We need about 20 seconds to go ahead and acquire the target. And there goes the harpoon. Now, remember, the harpoon has another nice advantage, and that's the fact that it has a lot of fuel on board. So when it does smack into the ship, some of the damage is going to be because of the fire that's actually caused by the weapon when it does strike here. So it's coming. It's coming. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, boy. Wouldn't it be funny if it was a dud? Remember, same damage. Oh, what a hit. I'll switch over to the other side real quick. Go back to Red 4 real fast. Click on him. Damage is substantially more, which is exactly what I expected here. And if we go to damage control, we can see we got one of the 5-inch guns there. Got the SPS 30. I don't know how we hit that, but we did. Got some of the radios, and this is interesting, actually. If I was smart, I'd put them 2 side by side. But the thing I find so interesting here is the fact that my damage was less spread out, even though it was more effective. I think we might be getting to a conclusion a little early here, though. So let's go on to the battleship and see what happens here. All right, battleship time. I don't think we're going to do any damage to this battleship at all. I think no matter what I think, it's just not going to do anything. But we'll try. We'll try again. This is all for science, and kind of to answer the question here. Honestly, I don't think I'll even scratch it. I'll do a lot of maybe some surface paint damage to it, but I don't think there's going to be any like real damage onto it. All right, let's go take a look at our battleship and see the results here. I can't believe we even did 1% damage. That seems very unlikely to me, but that's okay. So we opened it up. We got one of them 50 cals. Oh, well. Oh my goodness. We got one of the. Oh, that was a lucky hit. We got the phalanx there. Lucky, lucky. And we got the Mark 25 again. And that's about it. Oh, that was not a very effective attack. But it's okay. It's okay. It's a battleship. They're supposed to take hits like that. And again, if you've ever actually tried to shoot up the Iowa before with missiles, you'd be incredibly disappointed with just how many it's going to take. Let's go and lock onto that guy. Go fire one. I really should fire two because, like, we're just not going to do any damage here. And it's one of those things. There he goes. Sort of skidding across the water. I did put these guys on blind, by the way, so they can't actually see the incoming weapon. And wham! Okay, let's see how we did. Control V, click. Actually, it did less. It did about twice as much damage, which is consistent with the carrier as well. And the interesting thing, if I go to damage now, we have to switch sides to do that. Let's go jump to the other guys. Let's go ahead and click on that sucker. Damage control. How do we do? We got a 5-inch. Cool. We got a 20. That's cool. We killed that thing twice, actually. Yeah, actually, we did a lot more damage. Interesting. Interesting. I think we have a quarter of a conclusion so far. Let's go against the merchant ship now. I just feel kind of bad plugging away at merchants, but it's empty. We kicked everybody off the ship already. Let's go again and allocate all of them. Fire. Oh boy, look at that. Okay, so I'm thinking this is going to work this time. Remember, this is not a warship. This is a civvy with a bunch of containers on top. That being said, a bunch of Hellfires ramming into those metal containers, not a lot would happen unless you got like right at the waterline, but even then you might not do that much damage. So we'll have to see here. Oh boy. Oh, ow. Oh, okay, let's take a look. Switch to the other side real fast, and let's see what happened to it. I hate it every time I get a new beta. It overwrites all my settings, but it's okay. It's okay. The betas are good. Okay, so we've got some problems here. One thing we do not have is fire. We do not have flooding, which is good. Now, but if I take a look at the systems, there's not a lot of systems on board. And you can see here that I got nearly all of them. I shot all the radars off the roof. That checks. I even damaged the engines. Actually, forget that. I destroyed the engines. I'm not actually sure how I destroyed the engines, but lucky shot, I guess. It must have hit the superstructure and like gone down the pipe or something. I don't know. It's quite a hit. Quite a hit. Now, this is where I think I'm going to get a fire. Let me go switch over to the other team one more time. Let's go grab my lovely Apache. I'm going to bring him here just for spotting purposes. And then we're going to go ahead and try to pop it with our lovely harpoon. Now, when you shoot a harpoon against a surface vessel that's not, made of like steel, with all sorts of like double bulkheads, that's going to go very poorly for that particular vessel. Oh, there he goes. Oh boy, I kind of feel sorry for this thing because this is going to hit so hard. Oh boy, there it goes. There you go. Oh boy. It's doing its little terminal phase here. This might even hit the waterline too, which would make quite a mess of this vessel here. Oh boy. Oh, what a hit. What a hit. All right, let's switch to the other seat and see how we did here. All right. So this one's going to sink. So if I go to damage control here, you can see I destroyed everything. We actually did less individual damage, if that checks out, if that makes sense. So you can see here, yeah, we got the radar. You're always going to shoot a radar whenever you take damage, though. Got the radio. The diesels got destroyed. Oh, actually, they got damaged this time, not destroyed. But everything else is in good shape. But this is the first time we caused flooding damage, and I'm really surprised we didn't start a fire. That actually, like I said, that's unusual. So what can we safely say here? I think a couple things. First of all, the fact that using a bunch of little missiles does make it easier to get through the defenses. I agree with that statement 1000%. But I will also very, very, very plainly state that from a damage perspective, those little missiles are taking so much effort to just cause a little bit of damage that like you're not getting the death by 1,000 cuts here. You're doing a lot of like, what's the best way to describe it? Little things, like you're shooting the little stuff off, but you're not really doing any damage to the big, big, big heavy targets. So let's go ahead and end this on a fun note here. Let's grab my little barge of victory here. Go ahead and lock onto that one. We're going to dump the entire thing of our lovely harpoons onto the Iowa class. Take that. And of course, the interesting thing too, is the Iowa is it's such a tank. So as this thing heads over here, I'm going to switch over to the other side real quick. Oh boy. The interesting thing, he's on blind right now, so he's just kind of cruising here. He can't see anything. But surprise, there's a bunch of missiles. Ooh, ow, ooh, ow, ooh, that hurts. Ouch. Wait for it. Ow, that hurt. Now, the cool thing here is that did 7% with 3 harpoon missiles, but if you look at the damage, it's like nothing. You got the Nixie somehow, and like you damaged the SPS. And let's see here, we got like 10. Oh no, and the SLQ. But as you can see, it barely did any damage to it. And one of the things I love here, of course, is if you do go up to the Iowa and you actually kind of cruise down and look at the armor, All of these armors are specials and mediums. These things are not going down easy. So my little missile would do nothing. Enjoy.